Guys, it's me, it's Knockout21. How are y'all doing today? Sorry for lack of videos. I know I say that a lot, but I've been busy and I didn't really want to leave you guys hanging. So I thought I'd make a quick video on this side thing I've been doing. If you guys don't remember, like a couple of weeks back, give or take 1 month and a week or so, I put up a gameplay video on Sonic 2 and on Fatal Fury, just to kind of test out the video capabilities of this mod I did. This is a McWill modded Game Gear. I replaced the screen. It's not an overly difficult mod. Although it does require some skill. But yeah, I was pleased with the results of the actual screen, and I was also pleased with, more or less pleased with how the video came out. So I thought, yeah, pretty good. I could work with this. However, there's a bit of an issue. Despite replacing all the caps and giving it a new soundboard, the audio tends to go out from time to time, and sometimes it doesn't even want to work at all. And I got frustrated. Like I looked all over the board to see if there were any, any places that was missing, like if I forgot to replace a cap or if the traces were broken, and I found none of that. This thing looks pristine. There's obviously something I'm overlooking, but for some reason I couldn't get the audio out on this thing whenever I want. It just kind of comes and goes. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just have to do this again. So after some time, I bought another broken Game Gear board and got another McWill mod, and I went ahead and I went all out. I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go for the whole shebang. I'm gonna do everything I can to consolize this. However, I couldn't really fully consolize it, but I got pretty far. This is the Game Gear I'll be using to record footage from now on, and in case you couldn't tell, this thing has both a VGA and a Genesis controller port. So yeah, this goes all out, and I'm actually pretty proud. However, there's some things I wanted to do with this, which I'll explain a little later. But yeah, this is the unit. I'm pretty proud at what I was able to do with this thing. So let's go on to the next section of the video, and I'll talk a little bit more of like the process and whatnot. So instead of showing shaky video footage from my phone, I decided just to show pictures. And as you can see, this is what's inside my Game Gear. A mess of wires and cables, and I am actually pretty shocked at the fact that this thing, believe it or not, closes. I thought when I installed this thing it wasn't going to close, but it does, and I'm kind of glad it's able to work. And yeah, this is the left side. And the thing you got to know is when you're installing the PXL mod as well as the McWill mod, they both share wire points with each other. So when you're doing this, make sure you use a needle nose plier to hold the wire steady. The right side, not so much. You don't really have to worry about that. But I use a piece of Kapton tape to kind of keep the wires separate and make sure there aren't any shorts anywhere on the board. I'm just making sure that the wires are in place and everything's neat and tidy. And this is the actual PCB chip that lets you use the Genesis controller. I put it down on the bottom. A lot of people that work on this mod usually put it below the cartridge port, and it works fine. I put a piece of Kapton tape again just to make sure there aren't any shorts anywhere along the board. And this is the VGA point, the RGB point for the McWill mod. I'm glad that they put this in here so that way we could get audio, or we could get video out of the McWill mod. However, I really wish they would have stuck with the Genesis 9-pin connector, but they didn't do that. I wish they did, but I don't know. They have their reasons. I just wish they would have kept it all Sega. Oh, and this is what's behind the actual ports. Now, soldering the Genesis controller port was actually easy because it included a mini PCB, which you could slide in between the row of pins and then just kind of like tin them in together, which makes it much easier. However, the McWill mod has no thing, so I kind of had to like pre-tin the points and then slide in the wires, which isn't bad. You know, it's not very difficult. I just really wish they would have done something to make things easier. Oh, and this is the end result. I gotta say, I am not overly happy with how this looks. I was really hoping I could find a way to use a customized shell. I looked around, I couldn't find one, so I said, F it, I'm gonna go ahead and just use the same shell as the Game Gear. And it works. It obviously works. However, it looks really, really ugly. It's not very pleasing to look at. There's control inputs in the bottom, an audio input in the bottom, audio input on the output in the top. You know, a VJ output and on the bottom. It just doesn't look pleasing. I'm mixing up my word, but this does not look pleasing. It looks very ugly, but the fact that it works says, all right, it works. The main idea of this mod was to actually get audio video out of the Game Gear so I could record and stream. And I'm glad that it does that. But I really, really was looking for a shell to do this mod on. Okay, so here we have my Game Gear I showed you guys. The control port here, BJ out, over to my OSSC. I'm using the headphone jack as a, too dark to see, but using the headphone jack as a aux out, and here it is right on the big screen. Looks wonderful. Let me go ahead and show you the pic. It's gonna be kind of difficult with one hand, but it's really see my reflection here, but there we go. Right, left. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, this is awesome. Okay, cool. Now let me show you guys some actual in-game footage. And there you have it, guys, my consolized Game Gear. Look how awesome it looks. No, it's an ugly mess, but it works. Yeah, it obviously works. My only issue is the fact that there's cables running all over the place. The wiring inside isn't pretty either. But the fact that I'm finally able to capture footage and show it to you guys is really pleasing, you know. Of course, I had another Game Gear over here that also has it, but this one's audio is jacked up. I don't really know why it's jacked up. Even though I replaced the caps on that, the audio still doesn't work. So I went ahead and modded this one, and the audio on this one works. And I thought, why not? Why not go all the way and fully consolize this system? And that's what I did, and it works wonderfully. But step aside to let's forget about the consolized Game Gear and just kind of like focus on a McWill mod. The McWill mod is definitely recommended for people whose Game Gear screens are like messed up. Even if you replace the caps or whatever and there's nothing showing up on the Game Gear screen, then yeah, most likely it's time to replace the screen altogether. And of course there are other options out there, but for me the McWill mod has been true and tested. That's what I trust, and that's that's what I went with, and it works wonderfully. The screen is sharper, the colors are brighter, and and I don't know, but it kind of feels like the batteries seem to last a little longer than the other screen. It's probably because it's not using that lamp anymore. But yeah, I totally definitely recommend. I definitely recommend it. If you guys have a Game Gear screen that's broken, doesn't work, I definitely recommend it. Just be wary though. Be sure to recap your Game Gear, replace the caps with new ones, and also make sure your Game Gear is like a VA1 or a VA0 board. The single or double ASIC chip, and yeah, because if you got some of the newer ones, the McWill mod won't work. But you got something older, you're good to go. Anyway, this was Knockout 21. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And like always, have a good one. Take care, you guys.